Okay, so today we're going to be looking at an exercise where we're going to be doing a lot of volume fades, and we're also going to be editing some voice. I've got all my contents here saved in a folder called Top 5, all the songs and the voice of me counting down the top 5. So just going to shut that down. There's my Pro Tools first. I'm going to double click on that and let that open up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new session. I'm going to call it Connor Top 5. I'm not going to back it up to the cloud because if I do, it gives me my minimum of 3 projects, no more. So this means if I don't back it up to the cloud, it's only going to be saved onto this machine. But that's fine. It's a machine I'm using. That's going to be okay. So I'm just going to hit create. And it's going to create my session here. And here it is. Okay, so what I need to do first of all is import in some audio. I'm just going to make this nice and big here. This is our edit window. This is where we're going to do all our editing. So let's go in and go File, Import, and I've got everything stored in the desktop in my Top 5 folder. And there's my voice, Top 5. That's the first one I'm going to bring in. Going to hit open, and there it is. Top 5, taking this name from the track there. Just going to bring it down a bit so we can see it further. And here it is.
Hello and welcome to Boom Radio's Top 5.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim away that bit at the start. Don't want that, don't need that. So I'm going to trim all that away. What I'm going to do is zoom in as well, and I'm going to get it right to the start. So I hit play, and there I am starting. Okay, cool. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this right to the start. I can go into my shuffle mode, and if remember it's shuffle mode, that will just bring it right to the start. Okay, so let's have a listen.
Boom Radio's Top 5. In at number 5, it's Billie Eilish and Bad Guy. That was Billie Eilish and Bad Guy.
Okay, so there we have a little bit of a gap. That's why I say Billie Eilish Bad Guy. That was Billie Eilish. So I'm going to click, hold and drag, create a bit of a highlighted area here. I'm in slip mode. So when I press backspace, a gap will be created. If I do Control Z to undo, if I'm in shuffle, it will snap it really close together. But I would like it in slip. So I can do that, and I can then move my voice there. So I've got Billie Eilish. So let's bring in Billie Eilish. I go File, Import, Billie Eilish Bad Guy. Notice how it opens up in the folder of the last time I was importing something in, which is quite handy. Billie Eilish Bad Guy. Let's import that in. There it is, Billie Eilish Bad Guy, and there it is there. Let's go to the start. Oh, that's on loop. That's on normal.
Hello and welcome to Boom Radio's Top 5. In at number 5, it's Billie Eilish and Bad Guy. That was Billie Eilish and Bad Guy.
There we are. That's where Billie starts singing. So I want to have my voice coming in about there. So let me just cut away a lot of this and move it a bit closer. Now, there we are there. Oh, that's not too bad actually. But got a little bit short here. So what I'm going to do, in my trim tool, in standard, click, hold, and drag back my audio. So now I go to the start, press play. Okay, that sounds okay, but obviously Billie is too loud. So what I need to do is reduce her volume. So what I'm going to do is where it just says waveform, click there and switch to volume. And what I'm going to do is use my hand tool to put a little marker here. You can see the marker there. And then after that, click another marker and drag it down. Click to the start and drag it down. And put a wee marker there so I've got a wee fade in. back to the start, and it sounds like this.
Hello and welcome to Boom Radio's Top 5. In at number 5, it's Billie Eilish and Bad Guy.
White shirt now with my bloody nose.
And there we are. Okay, that's Billie Eilish done. Let's move myself along. Just trying to find somewhere where Billie might give us a nice finish.
You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruce.
And I think I might just after that little click there. And I'm just going to bring that down there. And then my voice is going to come in here. So let's listen.
That was Billie Eilish and Bad Guy, taken from her debut album, When We're Asleep, Where Do We Go? All produced by her brother in the family home. Next up it's Beck with his classic hit, Loser.
Okay, so there's Beck and Loser going to come in here. So I'm going to click and drag here. Create a bit of space. Hit delete. And move my previous audio back. I'm going to go back and I've got top 5 here. I'm going to call this Billie 5. Okay. And then I'm going to call this one Beck 4. And I want to really trim that audio actually at the start. So I know exactly where I'm coming in. Okay, so this is Beck. Let's go get Beck. File, import, Beck and Loser, and hit open. And here we've got Beck Loser. Going to go on the hand tool to get to the start, move this along so I get the start of my Beck. Now notice, got a pretty nice long intro here. I might see how much of this I can use. If I move that, I think I can see a big beat there. Let's move that and just hear what that sounds like. Okay, yep, that's a nice beat, but obviously, again, too loud. Let's go wave volume. Let's click here, and let's bring that down. And let's bring it down to 0. So, let's hear how that sounds.
That was Billie Eilish and Bad Guy, taken from her debut album, When We're Asleep, Where Do We Go? All produced by her brother in the family home. Next up it's Beck with his classic hit, Loser.
That's nice, but what I've got is a little gap here where I stop talking about Billie. So I might actually fade back in here and actually fade Billie out.
All produced by her brother in the family home. Next up it's Beck with his classic hit,
And I might just stretch that out a little bit. So I've got a smoother transition.
in the family home. Next up it's Beck with his classic hit, Loser.
Okay, there we go. Next up then, let's move it along. I think there's a nice possible ending here for Beck. Let's see what my voice is first of all. Cut that.
Number 3, it's the song whose video practically broke the internet. It's Childish Gambino, and this is America. And this is the clean version.
Okay, let's create a little gap here. Hand tool, move it along. Double click in here. I'm going to call it Childish and in at number 3. Okay, so let's hear how it sounds then with Beck. Cool, this is a nice, I'm going to fade him down just there.
Okay, at number 3, it's the song whose
Maybe fade it a little bit tighter.
Okay, at number 3, it's the song whose
Okay, let's go get Childish Gambino. File, import. There's Childish. Open him up. There it is. Now notice, don't quite know why, it's brought it in the track at the very bottom. No problem. See the way it's highlighted, the blue and white? That means it's highlighted. You can see here I can swap around. I'm going to click, hold and drag it up. And there it is at the top. So let's move the song along. And what I'm going to do is hit a little solo on here and see if I can find somewhere that's a nice intro to come in on. All right. That's not bad. And actually, that might be okay. Let's have a listen. Just going to adjust the volume. I want it to come in here. So therefore, I want it lying as a bed here. Let's make it nice and even. And coming in just as Beck comes out. Okay. Bit rough. Let's hear how it sounds, though. Oh, let's take the solo off.
Okay, at number 3, it's the song whose video practically broke the internet. It's Childish Gambino, and this is America. And this is the clean version. Okay, at number 3, it's the song whose video practically broke the internet. It's Childish Gambino, and this is America. And this is the clean version.
Okay, what I might do, zoom in there. I think I might be just losing a little bit. Yeah, we can see here, there's my voice, and the music's already full up. We need to move that along, and I'll just put an extra dot in here and feed that to there. Right, bit more along because I've got N version. Cool, all right then. Nicely done. Let's move it along. Childish. Let's see who the next person is. Let's solo.
I have to say, for me, an even better video. Okay, so it's the top 2. And in at number 2, it's the quite brilliantly named Let's Eat Grandma, and the really quite beautiful song, Ava.
Okay. Create a little gap. Hit backspace. Let's move it along. Double click to name it, and we're going to call it Ava 2. Okay. Now, zoom in. Get rid of all that at the start. Using my trim tool. There we are. And let's see if there's somewhere here that I can now bring in our fade out Childish. Okay, might just bring that down just there. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, trying to get la 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 la. And let's see about fading that out. Move that along to there. And then maybe bring in my voice here. A little bit too sharp maybe. Let's do that. Now, I might adjust that later on because what I want to do is bring in Let's Eat Grandma and Ava. And there we are. Hit open. Now it's added on again, but it's highlighted. So let's click, hold on the name, drag it up, and here we are. Let's move it along until we've got the start. And let me hit solo. Cool, so that is where she starts singing. So let's move that to the end. I've got a nice long piano intro, which is cool because that's then going to tie in with, change it from WAV to volume. Childish fades out there. That's fine because I am then going to fade in my piano. Fade it into a bed, sits underneath. Then let's bring it up. Is that a bit too tight maybe? Maybe a bit tight. I might want to move this along maybe actually now I'm thinking about it. So I'm back into waveform, hand tool, give it a little nudge, just that much. Then back to where it says volume. If I want, see the wee triangle just here? I can click down there and it actually shows me the volume. And I can leave that as a waveform. And I can actually do the altering here. Let's hear.
Really quite beautiful song, Eva.
With her head in her scarves.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's move this along. Gonna find somewhere where there's a nice ending we can come in.
With her head in her scarves, Ava studies her part as she waits on the window seat. Pebble thrown over arm, her face is dark in alarm. She says, "Oh, what do you want from me?" I said, "Why just take it as final when you're starting to spiral? Girl, why can't you see? You know I know you can do it, and I'll help you get through this, whether it's once or twice or again."
Okay, there's a nice end there. Let's go to waveform. Hit it on volume, and that is where I shall fade this out. Okay. On to Hansel. Let's move my voice along because that's where I'm going to start talking. Again, let's trim this right up to here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Nice and tight. And let's hear.
Okay, so let's run down the top 5 again before we get to the number 1.
Okay.
Okay, so let's run down the top 5 again before we get to the number 1. Okay, before we get to the number 1, let's run down the top 5 again.
Haha. Obviously, I didn't like that with the way I said it first time. So what I'm going to do is in the trim tool, let's just get rid of that first intro. And let's move this up to here. Let's zoom in a little bit to make sure I trimmed it just right. There we go. And let's zoom back out again.
Okay, before we get to the number 1, let's run down the top 5 again. At number 5, it was Billie Eilish and Bad Guy. Then we had Beck with his classic hit Loser at number 4. Childish Gambino was in at number 3 with This Is America. And you've just heard them, it was Let's Eat Grandma with Eva at number 2. So that means at number 1, mainly I think for its... So that means at number 1, mainly for its...
Okay, so obviously I have a... if we listen.
Mainly I think for its... So that means at number 1, mainly for its opening riff.
You can hear actually Let's Eat Grandma is coming in again. Yep, let's go. Still got a little icon here. If I click and hold and drag over there, brings it right down to 0. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in here a bit.
Okay, before we get to the number 1, let's run down...
There's an edit I need to do here.
At number 5, it was Billie Eilish and Bad Guy. Then we had Beck with his classic hit Loser at number 4. Childish Gambino was in at number 3 with This Is America. And you've just heard them, it was Let's Eat Grandma with Eva at number 2. So that means at number 1, mainly I think for its... So that means at number 1.
Okay, so I need to do the edit.
So that means at number...
So that means at number 1. What I'm going to do is click just before it and click to here. Because what I'd like is I'd like the breath here to carry on here. Okay, I can edit here to here, but that means the breath taken here is for this bit of speech, and that might be different to the breath that would be needed for this bit of speech. So if you're editing speech, always click so that you've got the breath here for this bit of speech. So I'm going to click myself into shuffle, hit backspace, and boom. Notice how tight the edit now is.
with Eva at number 2. So that means that...
Now, I don't know if you can hear that. There is definitely something there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom right in here. Okay, making this all nice and big. And then I'm going to zoom in as well. And Making this bigger. Feels like there's something there.
So that means at number 1.
Let's move this along. Oh, yeah, that's the edit. Let's move this along. And there. Don't know if you can see just there. There is a little mark here. It's a little lip smack. Little. So what I want to do is cut that away. And what I want to do is cut that nice and tight to the previous bit of speech. And let us zoom back out again.
Grandma with Eva at number 2. So that means at number 1, mainly for its opening riff, which can be used as a loop or a bed, possibly under a countdown, it's AC/DC and Back in Black.
Okay, so nice bit of editing there. Little lip smack was there. Sometimes you really need to zoom in. It looked like it was entirely flat, but actually when you zoomed in, you could see a little edit that was required. Okay, let's go File, Import, and bring in AC/DC. Okay, and where we are. Oh, let's zoom these. AC/DC, and let's bring it up to the top here. Okay, so just gonna make these all a little bit closer. There we are. Because what I'm going to do is make this bigger. So, what I've got, oh, can't move it along, can't move it because I'm in shuffle mode. Back into slip, I can move it all along. So, I'm going to solo this, and this is AC/DC. Cool. So that is where I want my voice to end and this to begin. So let's move it along there. Let's bring it back in. Okay, that's okay. But if you notice now, Eva fades out here and this isn't quite as long. So I want to make this longer. But obviously I've got a slight problem because it's only this length. So what I'm going to do is, as I talk about it here, I'm going to create a loop. So what I'm going to do is zoom right in. Let's move it along. Don't want this part at the start. So I'm just going to trim that away. I'm going to see if I can find where there is a nice looped bit of music. So I'm going to give it a nice count in. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now I think if I go from here, because this is 4 bars, let's try this. So what I'm going to do is, where's my play button? I'm going to right click and put it on the loop. And let's hear how it sounds. It doesn't sound quite right. And I think what I've done is, yeah, captured too much of the start point. So what I'm going to do is, see the wee blue arrow just here? I'm going to move this right close up. Now I'm actually going to zoom in nice and far here because I see, want to get right up to, I might actually lose that first bit just there. Now let's zoom out and let's hit play again. Oh, did I go in too far? Let's zoom in. Let's bring back that again, maybe just there, and let's try that. Okay, that's sounding good. What I might just do, just to make sure, yeah, I think I might just move myself along here a little bit and get it tighter to there. That's it. That's my loop. Okay. So now I've captured it. All I'm going to do is copy it. Just go to edit, copy, and then I'm going to put a little paste just here. Edit, paste. And there it is. And I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to do a paste here. Edit, paste. And maybe one more just to be sure. I'm going to go edit, paste. Oh. Click there. Edit, paste. Okay, here we go. Now, I need to trim my start point here. So let's move us along. Oh. There it is. Let me get in here. And I'm going to zoom right in here. Because I think that's important. Yeah, right to that beat again. Let's cut it to there. A bit further in. Maybe. Let's see what that's like. First chord. Okay, there we go. Zoom back out. Hit shuffle mode. Hand tool. There it goes right next to there. There, that goes right next to there. And this goes right next to there. And then what I'm going to do is, as Ava's fading out, what I might do, let's hear how it sounds. I'm going to bring in my AC/DC. Now it needs to be a bed, obviously. So let's fade it all down. It'll be a bed. And let's bring it in here. Let's hear how that sounds. Oh, take the solo off.
Okay, before we get to the number one, let's run down the top five again. Number 5 was Billie Eilish and Bad Guy. Then we had Beck with his.
Okay, there it is playing.
Number 4. Childish Gambino was in.
My voice ends here. And let's bring ourselves up just here.
AC/DC and Back in Black.
Okay, and there we have my top 5. Let's bring them all back down into waveforms. And we can see now how we can do all the volume fades to bring ourselves into, let's zoom right out. A bit smaller just so we can see it all. We can see there we've got the volume fades coming in, all the voices coming in for each section that we need to have. All the voices, and there's AC/DC. So I'm looking flat, I think that's just a processing power, put it into blocks. But notice here we've gone into the red somewhere. Somewhere at some point in time we've gone into the red. So that means to double check we don't get any distortion whenever we bounce this down. What we're going to need to do is open up a master fader. So we go track, new, stereo, because we've got stereo tracks. We need to check both sides of that stereo track, and master fader. Hit create. There it is there. Notice it's in the red. So what we would do is we would go through, play everything to make sure anytime we jump into the red, that's taken care of. Now the other thing I can do is I can just bring down my overall mix just to check. So that's what I would do. I'm not going to do it all now because it's too long already. And there we go. That is how we would have our top 5. Ava 2. Now I might just need to go in here. 2 edits. I'm going to hold down shift and highlight them both. And I'm going to go to audio clip and group. Grouped it nicely together. And I'm going to call that AC/DC. There we go. There is our top 10. I'm simply going to go File, Save, and that's us done. File, Close Project, and that's us closed. All done.